Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Chats with Ant and Rye. This week we are still on the Oscars talk, but it's a bit of a different one because it's only nominated.
It's coming from a side door, yeah.
Yep. It's a Danish film, so it's an international film directed by Emily Blichfeld. It is The Ugly Stepsister, which is a bit of a unique take on the Cinderella fairy tale. From the point of view of one of the stepsisters. It's so you've got Elvira, who is one of the stepsisters. She and her sister Alma, their mum Rebecca has married a guy named Otto, who dies quite suddenly after the wedding, and they're left to be in this house with their stepsister, I suppose, is Agnes. Agnes is Cinderella, and it's a bit of a I suppose it's Elvira's kind of story where she wants to marry the prince, and she wants her Prince Charming, and so she's basically it's all about I suppose women's conformity to beauty standards and how far they will go to get the desired results that they want. And my goodness, does she go far to get what she wants?
Yeah, she does. A slight correction, it's a Norwegian movie.
It's Norwegian, sorry.
Scandinavian,
right.
Countries, right, yeah. And I want to say the title in Norwegian.
Yep, and I'm not saying it. So.
I'm not either. I would love to, but yeah. It's a collaboration anyway. It's Norway, Poland, Sweden, and Denmark.
There you go. So I was 25% of the way there.
You were.
I've read a few things, and it's a bit of a villain origin story, if you will, because obviously, Elvira is this sweet, placid little girl. Kind of, she's almost childlike when you meet her, and she's got these braces and she's got these curly hair, and she wants to she's reading the prince's poetry, and she's desperately in love with him.
Well, she's a child. She's, by today's standard, she is a child, and she's the one that the mom is pushing forward because the other sister, the younger one, is not
she hasn't bled yet.
She hasn't bled yet. That's a very disturbing way to put it. Yes.
Yeah. And we're I don't think we're even paraphrasing with that. She says that verbatim.
She says that verbatim. Yeah.
Yeah. Your sister hasn't bled yet. It's very graphic in quite a few of the depictions.
Yes.
Firstly, we'll go through the body dysmorphia. Is that the word? The changes she does to her body. The first one is she obviously has her braces taken off. She gets her nose adjusted. I thought that was I winced at that, and then the eyelash scene.
Yeah.
In the middle of all this horror, you've got stashes of comedy. Like, he's about to put these eyelashes into her eyes, which you see close up, and he takes a sniff of that. I don't guess it was ether or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god, that's just funny.
It is. It is funny if you go into very black humor, and I'm gonna spoil the end a little bit. So post the podcast, we have to. When she's really messed up towards the end, and she falls down the stairs and she breaks her nose, that made me giggle because it's like, okay, well, that was all for nothing.
But that scene there where she's, all of her hair's fallen out, her teeth have been smashed out, her nose is all broken. That's all makeup. No wonder it got nominated for an Oscar for the makeup. So
exactly.
Incredible makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gotten other things as well. So we'll go into some of the technical aspects as well. The one that I laughed at as well is obviously it's after the ball. She's got the shoe. The shoe doesn't fit. So she's like, well, I need it to fit.
Yeah.
She chops her toes off. And then the mum comes up. You know, she's screaming. The mum's giving her all this morphine.
But this is the original story, right?
Yeah, because obviously that's obviously the Brothers Grimm have obviously
the Brothers Grimm. Yeah. Which I like. It's I mean, before Disney took ownership of all those fairy tales and put quite a bit of sugar on it, so then they were more made for kids. I remember when I think I was a teenager at school, they made us read the actual fairy tales from the Brother Grimms, from Charles Perrault, all the well-known fairy tales that then got turned into movie, and this is what the mainstream now remembers. And then we went to the origin story of, well, this is what it was originally, and it was not really for kids. It was at a time where they were just passed on orally around the campfire because you didn't have television, didn't have books, and they were cautionary tales. And I like that this movie went into that spirit, and it just took it to another level and turned it into a body horror movie. I think that was a very clever move.
Definitely, yeah. And when she's cut off the wrong foot, so you see from afar, the mum's just like, "Oh well, we'll get the shoe to fit," and she just finishes the job.
Yeah, and all the body horror stuff. I mean, I think that falls into the category of makeup. It looks real.
Right.
And it's very I really like that. And what we're saying, it's graphic in many ways. I really like the body horror. For a split second, it turns into a porno.
Right. Yep. That was going to be my next. Just weird. First that. Right.
That felt out of place.
That took me out of it a little bit. Yeah, it's just like that didn't need to be there.
It didn't need to be there, and I mean, not to be a prude or anything like that. It's just, but shock value, or you didn't need to show that. It doesn't really fit into the body horror theme. It felt a bit out of place.
They're probably just trying to do it to push boundaries, maybe, because
I guess so, but I'm not sure how it works being transgressive for the sake of being transgressive. It's like this movie I haven't seen, but everybody's talking about it, a Serbian movie.
Yep.
And apparently it's one of the most disgusting movie that's ever been made. But this is transgressive for the sake of being transgressive, which I'm like, okay, I don't really want to see that. It's not, a movie needs to be good storytelling. Everything needs to fit in place. Yes, you can be a bit provocative with imagery or ideas, but it has to lead somewhere, just not be graphic for the sake of it. And that felt a little gratuitous when it came. So it's just that's a nitpick. I mean, it's just a one-off, and the rest of the movie is very good, but that is okay.
Yeah. I did have to turn away a couple of moments because when the tapeworm is being removed. So obviously she eats a tapeworm, and that's the sound of the tapeworm all the way through the movies. That's really cool. I love that sound. That sound effect. But yeah, when the tapeworm's coming out, I had to I had to turn away because that was.
I mean, she goes to such extreme length to feed some standards of beauty, and I think there is a commentary as well that we can talk about. And I mean, it's going to be weird being two dudes talking about that, but there is a lot of sexism, especially from an olden time where there is just massive double standards. All those beauty standards are being put on women by men a little bit to fit an ideal of beauty, but also reinforced by other women because her mom is the one pushing for her to fit a certain aesthetic. The dance teacher as well is very picky into who is going to be her favorite because of beauty standards. And Vera is definitely not her favorite because she's not, in air quotes, naturally beautiful or fitting the beauty standards of the time. And then the tapeworm is also a woman's idea of, oh, here, eat a tapeworm and you're going to lose weight. It's like, how messed up is that?
Right. And that still seems to be a relevant theme even today. Obviously, again, two guys talking about this, but it does feel like women hold them, and I might be wrong, but women hold themselves to a higher esteem to impress other women. But I think guys do it too. Like,
this movie really highlighted how unfair the burden of a certain beauty type was being put on women at the time.
Definitely. I'm going to go into a few things that I absolutely loved about this film. The first is the relationship between Elvira and Alma. Alma is just she's always kind of there, but she's the one that's kind of, when Elvira is getting her nose broken, she's just looking like disgusted, whereas Rebecca, the mum, is just looking gleeful. And, Alma is always she's the one that kind of grounds the whole story, where she's there for Elvira throughout the whole movie. She's the one that pulls the damn tapeworm out. And so it's actually a really nice relationship that they've got,
they do.
At the end of the film, they go off and they're going to start their new future together away from Rebecca. Yeah, that was just really, really lovely. I loved just all the kind of the technical aspects, just the setting, the costumes, all the hair and stuff like that.
Yeah,
the one
beautiful
part that I really noticed it the most was at the ball, where it's not bright. It's not, you think a ball's going to be all bright and stuff like that. But this is an old-fashioned, very like 1700s.
Yeah, it feels really Versailles at night.
Yeah.
True.
The ballroom's only lit by the candles, so you can kind of see that the roof's going to be dark. And I thought that was run really, really well.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there anything? I've got a nitpick that I want to see if you agree on.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you think the character Agnes, they did too much of Agnes? I thought that there's a scene where Agnes is like crying over the body of her dad, and she sees a vision of her mum, and the mum's like, "Oh, you have to, have this all done by midnight, or your coach will transform back into a pumpkin."
Yeah.
So I get it. They added the fable rules, but I thought it would have been better if they just kept Agnes as kind of like a tertiary character. Don't include that. Then at the ball, Agnes comes in and she does the Cinderella scene. So you kind of ignore that aspect, and then Cinderella still comes in.
Yeah.
But it's because it's from the point of view of Elvira. Why are we getting that kind of point of view of Agnes? I just thought it could have been better done if they didn't include that.
Really?
And
okay,
I would have preferred the ballroom scene to be done earlier. So that way there's a little bit more of the cutting off the toes, finding I felt that just that last little aspect of the film was just a bit rushed, where they kind of rushed cutting off the toes, rushed kind of her falling down the stairs, and then it was done.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, especially, I think a lot of people don't necessarily know that this is the original Cinderella and that we're just taking the point of view of one of the stepsisters. I didn't mind it because Cinderella needs to be there. And I think you need to have this kind of background, because they're saying, well, she's not going to go to the ball because she doesn't have anything to wear, right? So her dress has to come from somewhere, and her carriage has to come from somewhere, and this is the pumpkin, and it's not a fairy godmother, apparently. It's a mother that now is coming, is granting the wish. I liked it, and look, it leads me to actually a question I have for you. Do you feel sorry for Elvira?
Yeah, she's definitely, it's all to do with the mum. It's all the mum's influence. Absolutely. Rebecca was the influence on that, 100%.
Yeah, because she's not that nice to Agnes.
No, she's horrible to all three of them.
Yeah,
like she's only in it for herself.
Yeah, I agree. I do feel sorry for her. I think she's been thrown in the middle and being used by her mom. Not really her fault, especially because she's very young. Yeah, and everything that's been done to her, it doesn't even make her pretty on the outside. It's botched.
Yeah, which is surprising because she's actually not like the character's not, the ugly air brackets ugly stepsisters, but they're both kind of very pretty girls.
Yeah, I think this is the point as well. If they had cast someone that was with more of a different physique, I think it would be less impactful, because if you're saying this actress, she's not ugly. She's a very normal to good-looking person. They're just grooming her in a certain way that, maybe it's not putting all her nice features. But I think this is the point as well. It's like, well, if you're not fitting the street criteria that are completely arbitrary when it comes to beauty, then you're not beautiful. And I think this is what the movie wants to hammer in. And you needed to cast an actress that was not bad looking, just to show how unfair and dumb that is.
Exactly. Going back to that unfair beauty standards that society has on people. So
and it's very arbitrary. I mean, if you are going back to the time of the kings, if you were fat at the time, that was a standard of beauty. It just showed that you had the money to feed yourself, and that's what made you attractive as a woman. And that has completely changed over time and to the present day. So arbitrary, and the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. That's it.
See, I thought it was going to be a bit more rooted in reality. So how the man that brought her the dress, Elvira the dress, he kind of called himself fairy godmother, or I think he made a comment about something, not maybe fairy godmother, but I thought he was going to help Agnes. I thought that's how that was going to go. I thought that was going to...
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's just one little nitpick that I had that kind of bothered me a little bit, that they kind of... It was a very grounded in reality kind of story, and then they added the fable with the magic.
The magic stuff, Then, if you're coming from that angle, then I understand it did slightly bother me. Not to the extent it was like, oh my God, what's happening? Why is it like that? Yeah. But I was actually wondering, okay, how is that going to happen? How is she going to go to the ball? How is she going to get the dress? And how is she going to get there? How are they going to do that? I didn't expect them to have the fairy godmother or the fairy mother or the apparition and the magic element. I thought it was, as you were saying, going to be a bit more grounded in reality. But I don't know. It was so short that, I just let it slide. That's really not the focus of the story, and didn't bother me.
Yeah. When I tell my score, that will reflect on how little I felt about it. So,
all right, tell us your score.
I'm going to be generous. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. I really liked it. It's a very good film. Even with those little nitpicks I've got, it didn't distract from that. Yeah, very well, very, very well made. Very graphic in a few parts, but a very, very strong recommend from me.
Yeah, I give it a 4.5 as well. I really liked it. I do like body horror. I think it's a ballsy take to do it on Cinderella and really bringing back to its roots of the Grimm brothers as they wrote it, and adding a bit more commentary of the nowadays. I thought it was very clever. It was well acted. It was well written. It was well made. I'm glad that this is also a European movie. I guess it has a bit of another vibe than American movies. Yeah, it's a strong recommend. So 4.5.
Yeah. All right. Well, Thank you, everybody, for following. If you're listening on YouTube, please give us a subscribe and a like. That's always happy. We post this out to many of our channels on pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. So wherever you're listening from, thank you very much. Please give us a like, a comment, and tell us what you thought of this one. And we will see you next week.